Happy Friday, welcome back to the channel. I'm Aziza, aka Gourmet Pens. Today we're looking at a very interesting pen. I mean, they're always interesting, but it's like extra interesting because it's a very legendary pen model. Now, this pen is on loan from Appelboom, and it is the new Parker 51. So let me just read what Parker says about this whole thing. So this relaunch maintains the hallmarks of the original that gave the 51 its identity, while leveraging technical advancements and our expertise and craftsmanship to ensure it's fit for use in the modern world. They kept the name. A trial run of the newly developed, we don't care about that. The pen was given the number 51, and they kept it because it's well known, and I mean, what else are they going to name it? I guess, right? I actually think that's all I really want to say from what Parker has to say. It's nothing particularly epic. You can get ballpoint, you can get a steel nib. The steel nib is not bad. It's like 87 US, which is actually pretty good. The 18 karat gold nib, which is what I have here, is $252. So it's definitely more, and we're gonna have feelings about that, I'm sure. So let's unbox it. This is the box. I like the box. It's not humongous. She says, as though she can't find the opening. Just a sleeve. It's very simple, and that's why actually I like it, as we know. It's quite elegant. The pen sits on the bed. It's a nice bed, nice and soft. You get nice long Parker cartridges, which are, like, they're definitely quite long. And I mean, the unfortunate thing to Parker is they have a special converter, which I'm going to show you right now. The Parker converter, they are not inexpensive, and I've had 2 or 3 of them die in the lifetime of my Parker. So that's kind of annoying. But anyway, the cartridges are fantastic because they're long and have lots of ink, and that's great. So this is the new Parker 51. This is the plum with the gold cap. It's funny because, like, there's nothing on the finial, and I missed that about some of the vintage Parker 51s because some of them had the jewel. You've got the classic arrow clip from Parker. It's nice and springy. It's got the pinstriped cap, a center band that is smooth, and it is a very, very pretty plum material. So I can say that it is plastic, but it's a very nice color plum. I think the gold and the plum looks really good together. If we uncap the pen, nice smooth section. You do have a hooded nib, and I just showed you the converter in this case. It is, I will say this, it does feel very similar. I mean, they basically kept the same pen. They've just made it more accessible, I guess. Like, you could buy it at a modern pen dealer, and the converter is easier to deal with than, like, the sack ones, which you could find on vintage pens. It feels really good in hand. Like, it's a really comfortable pen. It's not a huge pen. It's not a tiny pen. It's not super heavy. It's not super light. It's actually a really comfortable, great pen in that regard. It fits well in my hand. It can post. I do find it too long and top heavy because it doesn't sit very deep, and the cap is the heavier part of the pen. So for me, if that throws it off, this is a screw cap, which is, there's that. So here's the thing. I never really cared for hooded nibs, but as my taste in pens have changed, and I find that I'm moving towards smaller pens again, and I don't know, it's just something has evolved and for me. And I don't like the look of the hooded nib, but I do like how it feels in hand. The way it is covered, you can hold really close to the nib, you know, get really precise and close to your page. So I'm surprised that I've been enjoying it so much. Honestly, it's a pretty perfect size pen. The dimensions are fantastic, and so I will give Parker that. I mean, we already know that the 51 is legendary, and the new 51 2.0, because it has maintained the same size and silhouette and all that kind of stuff, it's very comfortable. Now, let me show you a quick comparison. I have a vintage 51 here that we're going to look at with it. So here's what we have. Kaweco Sport, Sailor Pro Gear, Platinum 3776, our modern 51, the vintage 51, a Scribo Feel, a Mont Blanc 149, and a Platinum Curidas, which is, obviously these are much larger, but it's a fantastic size pen. It's just really good. And I think in the past, when I was in my first fountain pen exploration, like I was like all gaga over the crazy pens and crazy nibs, and I still like those, but a part of me has now grown to appreciate just like simple classics. So here's the modern, here's the vintage. If you look at them without knowing, I mean, would you really know? Would you know that this is the modern one? They look very similar. The clip design, of course, the modern one has a longer clip, but the thing is, it's still the arrow clip. This is what I do miss. So the vintage one has like the cool jewel, and this one is it's just a gold knob, and it's just not exciting, but whatever. The vintage it has a better balance. So because the filling system, sorry, this is a pull cap. I got confused. Because the filling system is one of the squeeze aerometric things, it has more weight in the barrel. So I actually find the balance is better and it posts far better. So that's something to think about if you are, if you're trying to decide between the vintage and the modern. You can certainly find a vintage 51 in a regular colorway, in good condition, for at least like the price of this, but more than likely much less. I'm vintage pen connoisseur, so I can't talk too much about that, but what I can say is, it's a toss-up, but you can get a vintage 51 for less than the price of the new one. So that is really a large consideration, but of course, not everyone is comfortable buying a vintage pen. Not everybody has an avenue to go to. Some people just want to walk into a store and buy a fountain pen, like maybe it's a gift for someone and you just want to know that it's going to have service and all that. In that case, the modern is a great option. Also, the modern one is much lower maintenance because it's just a converter or a cartridge. So there's that. Other than that, I actually think it's not terrible. And I'm not like a fountain pen purist. Like, I don't get really upset when new companies get released or launched. And the thing is, if I don't like it, I just won't buy it. And I actually really like this pen. It's really comfortable. I do find 252 for the gold version. It's expensive when you compare it to the vintage 51, but as far as being a killer writer, super comfortable, very reliable pen, a classic look, very nice size, all that kind of stuff. It's great. Like, if this is what you're looking for, it's a great option. Let's write. Okay. Alrighty. Let's do this. This is I believe this was a medium nib. You can't see what your nib size is because it's hooded. Just a really very surprisingly comfortable pen in hand. beautiful writer. Very smooth, nice round point, perfectly polished. I really am surprised. I surprised myself by how much I enjoy this pen. It's fantastic writing experience, and I wasn't expecting to like it so much. 18 karat medium. The ink, first of all, perfect wetness. Like, this is a pen you can use for everything. It's just perfect wetness. Medium wetness, I would say like a 6 out of a 10. That's totally arbitrary, but that's just how I feel about it. And the ink is Pilot. I just wanted to put Yamabudo in it because I thought it would look really nice, and it does. It's not my fault Parker doesn't make fun colors like this. Yamabudo. I don't recommend applying pressure to hooded nibs. I mean, it's a firm nib. It's not like a crazy nail. It's firm, but it's just really enjoyable. I'm just really curious to hear what you guys think, because I have a 51. It's not a life-changing pen for me. I have it. I've had it for years. I use it. Sometimes I don't use it, but I could live without it. But it is really comfortable, and I really like how it feels in hand. If I really had to pick, like, would it stay in my collection? Well, it has. But it's a great everyday writer. So I can say that much. I am enjoying how it feels, how it writes. I do believe that by relaunching it, Parker has made this pen more accessible to more people, and like people who may not go to pen shows, where they can see a bajillion Parker 51s and pick whichever one they want. It's really very pleasant. I did have a couple hard starts. I didn't have that with other inks, like with my Waterman ink, so it's just, I'm not writing it off as it's never going to happen, but I think it's the ink. So, because I didn't have it with other inks. And it's not skippy. Oh, that, you know what? That's oily down there. I know that for sure. Like, it's not skippy. It works well. It's pretty impressive. The one thing I keep forgetting is that it's a screw cap now and not a slip cap, even though I just messed that up on the vintage one. But I have to remember that it's a screw cap. But anyway, fascinating pen, very interesting relaunch, but really nice writing experience. So let's get a little up close and personal with it. We are back. I hope that was interesting. I was kind of nervous about doing this video because I know some people love the 51, some people hate it. Maybe this whole relaunch is very dividing, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Please share your thoughts in the comments, and a huge thank you to Appelboom for loaning this to me, because I don't think I would have purchased one otherwise, but now I would honestly consider it. They just need more nib options. Like, it's fine in medium. Like, so boring. But anyway, it's a nice medium. So, Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like and all that stuff. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you, and I'm grateful that you're here with me. I wish you all a lovely weekend, and take care. We'll see you next time. Ciao. I don't like that one. Bye. I don't know what that was.